some eggs, okay? I'm only gonna put my 2 eggs there. I'm gonna use some butter. Okay, and so some butter, grits, eggs. I don't think I have any cream or milk, but that's okay. How's everybody doing? So this morning I am going to be teaching y'all how to make grits the correct way, the easier way. Okay, so we're going to be making us some old-fashioned grits. We're going to make grits the right way. Okay, and if you follow my instructions, you will never go wrong with grits. But we also going to pay attention to what they tell us, because you know, and I'm only making this video because when I was like all my childhood, my mother was a stay-at-home mother for the most part. So she cooked breakfast, or she cooked, her or my dad. So the truth is, while I was growing up, I never cooked. But I've always been in the kitchen, either watching, helping, and things like that. So imagine me being a grown adult, right? I'm out of the house in the military, and I want some grits, or I want whatever I want. I'm imagining that I could cook it because I watched my mother cook it, right? But the truth is, until you do it, you don't know what you're doing. So, but I was doing what I saw her do. But because I had never done it, I didn't know, there's a lot that I didn't know. So I remember making grits the first time, second time, third time. Even when I was a young mother, I would make grits and they just would not come out correctly. And I'm going to tell you what I didn't do. I never read the instructions. Like most of us going to say, hey, our parents didn't take no measurements. That's what we're going to say, but that's not true, right? What happened is they took the measurements and now they can visually see the measurements without using measuring cups. So they know what a cup of water looks like. They know what a fourth of a butter looks like. You know, I've learned that through the years. But originally I didn't understand that. So I would just put some grits in, and then I would put some water in, and I would cook the grits, and they would come out lumpy. My grits would come out so lumpy. Okay? But anyway, what we're going to do today, I'm going to tell you that you do need to know. You stop trying to think that you could just visually do it. Unless you know what a cup of water looks like, then that's different. You don't need the actual measuring, but you do need to know how to cook these grits. Okay, so here it tells me I want to cook for one person, 4 people, or 6 people. And they tell me how much grits for one person, 4 people, and is that 6? Yeah, that's 6 people. Okay. And it tells me how much grits to use and how much water to use. Now I'm only making grits for myself, but I am gonna make more than a fourth of a cup. I'm gonna double this one person to 2 people because I do like grits. Okay, and I will yeah, I'm gonna eat these grits. Now the thing that trick you about grits is a fourth of a cup is so small. I'm gonna show you what a fourth of a cup of grits look like. Hold up, let me get my cups. I'm gonna get my measuring cup so y'all can see what that looks like. Because it's tricky. And that's why I'm explaining this, okay? I'm really explaining this so y'all can understand. A fourth of a cup of grits. This is a fourth of a cup. Man, let me rinse that. I'm sorry. I haven't used them in a minute. Last time I used it was for grits, which was yesterday, okay? But a fourth of a cup is this. Now, let me show you what that looks like in a pot, though. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a pot. Look, that looks like nothing. So when I was younger and I was making grits, I was like, I didn't, first of all, I never even read the instructions. So I would just kind of put some grits in and some water. I'm gonna be honest, right? But remember I'm making two. I'm doubling the recipe, so I'm gonna use a half a cup. 1/4. 2 times is a half a cup, y'all. Okay, so that's a half a cup of grits, and look, that's so small. That's okay. Now, before I go on, so I'm doubling. So I'm using a 4 times 2, and to make, I'm using 1 cup of water times 2. So that's going to be 2 cups of water and a half a cup of grits. Okay. Hey, SD. Hey, Miss. How you doing? Okay. So, but this is, so y'all got that, and the salt and things like that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't pay attention to how much salt they say because it's optional, but I would do it to taste. Okay. And I'm gonna show you how I do that. Okay. How to help you get that. So we're gonna move over with these grits. Okay, that's a half a cup of grits. Let's move over, and this is the kicker. You're gonna wash your grits. Okay. Yes, you're gonna wash your grits. Wait a minute, let me wash my hands because I just squeezed that out. Give me a second, y'all. I just squeezed out that sponge, and that's still greasy. So I gotta wash my hands now because I'm about to wash these grits. But don't wash these grits with the way, because I've seen certain people, okay, who when they hear about washing food, they think you use dish detergent. No. So let me use the right term, okay? We're gonna rinse the grits, okay? We're gonna clean the grits. Please do not use any chemical or anything in your grits. I'm only washing my hands right now, okay? Okay, that's all I'm doing. That water's hot. Okay. We're gonna rinse the grits because if I use wash, people might think you need to use something to wash them. No, we're gonna just like you do rice. You're gonna put water in them, and you're gonna kind of just swirl it around, and you're going to pour the water out, and then you're gonna redo it. You want to do that until the water runs clear. Okay, as you can see, the water is not clear. It's clearer than it was before, but it still has, and that's that starch. You got to remember, y'all, corn grits is made from corn, ground corn. Okay, now the reason your grits be lumpy or stick together where you have to stand over them and constantly stir them is because you didn't wash them. Okay, so all that starch and everything. Okay, so we're going to just lightly pour the water out and redo it. And see, it's getting clearer and clearer, okay? This is the most important part, y'all. If you, like, I promise you, it's a big difference. It's a big difference if you wash your grits. Have you ever made grits and you didn't wash them? And then no matter how much you stir them, you end up with these clumps in the grits, in the pot. Even though you're stirring them and everything, there's still a clump somewhere. And it's because you didn't wash them. This doesn't really take a lot of time. You see that water is clear. But I'm gonna pour it out. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put in the 2 cups. Because I remember I'm doubling my recipe, so I need 2 cups. So I am going to measure just because I'm showing y'all how to do it. So I'm going to do it correctly for y'all. Okay, I want you to also, this is something you need to know, that this is a cup. This is a measuring cup. And this is a measuring cup. I'm going to move this out the way. I have to wash this. This is a cup. And this is a cup. 1 cup, 1 cup. They are different. Okay? This measures liquids and this measures non-liquids. So, because I'm using water, I'm going to be measuring with this. But I want to show y'all that it is a difference. Okay? I'm just rinsing this, y'all. It was already clean in my cabinet. Okay? This had something on it. I'm not sure what. Okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to measure 1 cup of water with this. And I'm assuming that you go to the top, because if it wasn't liquid, you would go to the top and you would swipe the top to make sure it's level, right? And then I'm going to pour it in this cup. And this is not a cup. Look. It's 1 cup of dry ingredients equals 3/4 cup of liquid. Well, that may not be true because I'm holding it. Hold up. Let's level it because that may not be exactly true. It's not. It's a little more than 3/4 of a cup. Okay? It's more of about 7 ounces instead of 8 ounces. 1 cup is 8 ounces. This is about 7 ounces. Okay? So I just want y'all to know that. So when you measure in liquids, it should be in this type of cup and not this type of cup. This says 1 cup, in case y'all can't see that. 1 cup. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to put this at 1 cup. You can have the water hot already, or you can just, don't put cold water, of course not, but, warm water, hot water, whatever. And I'm going to put in 2 cups. 1, 2. And if it's a little more, or even a tiny little less, does it really matter? It does not. That water is clear. You see that? I can clearly see those grits. I have rinsed, or AKA what we call washed, my grits. Okay? Now what we're going to do, we're going to put them on the stove. Now give me a second. Let me turn that on. And I'm going to get y'all over here. Hold up a second. Let's see. I'm going to put you kind of like this because you're on the tripod. Okay? I'm going to get a spatula or something. Let me rinse that. So I can get these grits off of here. Okay. Oh, let me take that off. I did forget something. Okay. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some salt in it. Okay. Is the water too hot? No, the water's not too hot. Okay, cool. So what I do, I put my salt in. Let me grab it. Boom, boom, boom. Where you at, baby? Here you go. Man, I only have a little bit of this left, huh? So I take salt. Listen, seasoning your food is the most, what I consider, this is how I do it, okay? Other people are going to do it the way they do it. I put a little salt in. And then I stir it with my finger. And then I put my finger in my mouth. And then see if I taste any salt. And I don't. So I'm rinsing my finger off right now. And I'm only doing that because I'm on YouTube, okay? Rinsing my finger off. Put a little more salt in. By the way, this is that pink salt. So it depends on what kind of salt you use. Depends on how much you will put in, of course. What I found that different salts, you could put in more of certain salts than others. Okay, so I'm going to kind of swirl it around again. Now you could do it with a spoon, I guess, now that I think about it, right? I swirl it around. I got a little water on my finger. And I could taste a little of the salt, which means I've put enough salt in the water for the flavor to be there. I do this with my rice as well. The same exact thing, okay? So I'm going to rinse my finger off. I'm cool. I taste a little bit of the salt. And so I believe that it's salty enough. Now, it's salty enough that while I was cooking, it will infuse inside of the grits. Okay? Now, I have my temperature up on high. It's on high. Okay? I'm going to have it on high until it comes to a boil. But what I am going to do, I am going to stir. Because remember, the grits are sitting at the bottom of the pot. Okay? You don't want them to burn, and you don't want them to scorch. So what is scorching? Scorching is kind of like a burn without it getting too dark or anything. But it smells burn. And it will make your grits taste burn. Even with a little scorching. Okay? That's why people constantly stir their grits. I'm not going to constantly stir these grits because I don't have to. Because I washed my grits. Okay? But I do want to just kind of watch them because it's on high. Okay? It's on high. I just want to make sure I don't get any scorching. That's the word I call it. I'm from the South. Do I know if that's the correct term? I'm not a cook. I didn't go to school for cooking or anything like that, okay? But that's the word and the term that I've heard all my growing up, okay? Scorching. And I've had some food where even though it doesn't look burned, right? It's not dark. You don't see any burned spots or anything, but it tastes burned. That's called scorching, okay? That's because it was at the bottom of the pot. It got stuck, and before it turned brown, you was able to mix it up real quick. But it didn't matter because you overcooked it, just a tiny little bit. Okay. So we're gonna let that come to a boil, and while I let that come to the boil, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna start on the eggs, baby. Yes, we are. Okay, so we're going to move over here, and I'm going to turn this pot on, okay? I hope it come on. Sometime I have to light it. Okay, there you go. Actually, I get scared. After it does like 10 clicks, I start panicking. And then I grab something and light it. But it generally... Now, let me tell you about cooking eggs. So I'm frying my eggs. I like them kind of fried hard, right? And when you're frying, you don't want to fry anything in a cold pot. You want this pot to be hot, and I mean hot, hot, okay? So you allow your pot to get hot. And so while that's on, and I can put some, whether I'm going to use butter or whether I'm going to use, and I'm going to show y'all what I am going to use, okay? But I'm not going to use butter, okay? I'm going to use this. And what is this? This is bacon grease. We fry bacon so much that once we fry the bacon, it ends up with the grease left over, the grease that, and then I capture it because it has the best flavor ever. Okay, I can add this to all kinds of different dishes. And if I didn't want to, for those of you who may be, I don't know, maybe what I might say may not make sense, I don't know. But for those of you who don't eat meat, but you want a little flavored meat, I don't know if it's against the rules to put a little lard. But see how that melts up? Because that's oil. Okay? You need to know what you're buying. But you could buy that as well. I have some. Let me see if I can find it. It's called lard. Lard. Now, people, I remember when they started telling you, Lord is so bad for you. Oh, my God, Lord is so bad for you. I've heard that. I started hearing that somewhere like in the 90s. Look, you see that's hot? That's smoking. Now, oh, shoo. I got something on it. Get that off of there. I'm sorry, my thongs got caught underneath. That is smoking right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Because we got to come over here to these grits, okay? We got to come over back to the grits, okay? Because the grits are boiling. It doesn't take long. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swirl them. Okay? We're going to make sure nothing is stuck at the bottom or anything. Hey, Silent. And then you see how it's a rolling boil. You see that? And now I'm going to turn them on medium low. So my high goes to 10, right? And I'm going to take them down to like a 4. I'm going to take them down to a 4. I'm going to stir them like this. And then I'm going to put a top on them. Now let me see if I have the actual top to this pot. Hubby be putting them in places where I can't reach them sometimes. I'm gonna use any pot top, okay? But you do want to, okay, so when you use a pot that doesn't fit, you want to have a vent, which means if the pot is too large, you don't want it fully covered. You want to leave a little space for opening. I'm not sure, can y'all see that space for opening? It's right there. See it? I'm not sure if y'all can see that. Okay, I put it like that, but leave a little space for opening. Otherwise, what you're doing when you cover something tightly is called pressure cooking. You do not want to pressure cook your grits. Okay, now there's some things you might want to pressure cook though. If you want to cook something quicker and faster, you don't have to buy a pressure cooker. You put a lid on it. Okay, now this is hot. And there's a lot of oil in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some of that off. Okay? Give me a second. Let me see. Hold up. Let me find something to put it in that's safe. Because that hot oil will, let me turn that low. That hot oil will melt plastic and will burn me if I put it in the wrong type of thing. I just want to let me see, let's look at the grits real quick. Y'all, I keep going back and forth. Okay, why? Because I want to look and see where it's at. Is it, hey Siri? Oh, I can't do Siri because I'm using my phone right now. Let me put the timer on. 20 minutes, y'all. 20 minutes. Cook timer on my microwave, okay? Let's see. Kitchen timer, 20 minutes, start. Okay, 20 minutes. Do not cook grits for no 7 minutes. I've seen things that say 5-minute grits. I promise you, you do not want no grits in no 5 minutes unless you put them, I don't even know, like maybe the microwave, maybe. I've never microwaved. I have microwave grits. But it was those packets. You ever seen those ones? You open them up, pour them in a plate, put a little tiny water, and then I don't know how long, because this was very long ago. And it's because I didn't know how to cook my grits right. Every time I cook my grits, I would listen to the thing. It says 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and it would be lumpy. And I'm like, oh my God, I never ate no lumpy grits before. Your grits shouldn't be lumpy. Okay? Your grits supposed to be smooth. You should be able to pour your grits onto your plate. Now, once it starts cooling off, it kind of, you know what I mean? It kind of get a little gritty. Not gritty. No, that's the wrong word. Anyway, I put the top on, and we're going to let that do for 20 minutes. I want to pour some of this extra oil, because I did put a little bit too much oil. I want to pour that out. Just because I'm using oil don't mean I'm using oil, right? You use oil for a couple of things, mostly for the non-stick properties, okay? I'm not using oil because I want my eggs to cook in oil. It's mainly, that's what it's for, to kind of keep it from sticking to the pan, okay? Now, there's a couple of ways you could do it. Scrambled eggs, you could pre-scramble your eggs first, which I am going to do. Or if you want a sunny side up, you put it in there. I don't usually like sunny side up. I like my yolk cooked. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let me move this. We're gonna move over here. That's on, let me put that back on low. Okay, we move that out of the way. Okay. How do I crack my egg? I use one hand. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to do this. Okay, I'm gonna crack it, and then I'm gonna squeeze it like this. And see how I squeezed it? I parted it like that, and no shell came out. Everything, see how I have my hand? I kind of twisted it like that, and everything fell out. I'm gonna show you that once again. So I'm holding it like this, and when I crack it, I'm gonna boom. I'm gonna spin it like this. Okay, watch. And watch. I don't know if y'all... Oh, man, I didn't do it right that time. Because I'm trying to let y'all see me do it. Oh, my goodness. That has never happened to me before. But if it does happen, believe it or not, eggshell attracts eggshell. You take eggshell to grab the eggshell. Wait a minute. There's a big piece in there that I could have just grabbed out. It's usually those little pieces, but I don't have no little pieces. These are actually big in there. See, that's a big chunk piece right there. And, oh, and then this is the smallest piece, and it wasn't even small. But if, let's say there was a tiny piece in there, you would take the eggshell, and you would put it in there where the eggshell is, and it would pick it up for you. Okay? I know that sounds like that's magic, but I don't know the science behind it. Okay, but that's how it works. I take my eggshell and I put it in my drain because I sharpen my my disposable blades with it. So that's what y'all gonna hear in a minute. Okay, nothing has to go to waste, baby. Or if I was saving them for my garden, I would save them, and then I would crush them up, and then I would throw them out in the garden. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to take a little salt. Okay, I'm going to take a little pepper. You could do you do it the way you want to do it. I don't know how y'all like your eggs. I'm a basic southern woman. So it's just the basics for me. Okay, you could use black pepper or white pepper. I have some black pepper here, but I do have some white pepper as well. You can also add some you could add, which I am going to add because it's so good. It makes them so good. Let me see if I can find it. Boom, boom, boom. Can't even think of the name of it until I see it. You can put a little garlic. What is it that it's called? Damn. I don't see it. It's probably up high in my cabinet. I'll be moving things, y'all. Okay. You can put some Cajun spices if you want it a little spicy, which I do not like my eggs spicy. I'm looking for, what is this called? I kind of grow this, but I have some that's already grated up that I purchased, and it tastes so ginger. That's what it is. Add a little ginger. First of all, it's good for your health. Okay, I'm not really health conscious. If you ever look at me, you'd be like, girl, what is you talking about? You're not health conscious. But I do like taste. Okay, I like my things to be tasty. And ground up ginger tastes really good in eggs. Okay, but I'm put a little garlic powder. You don't need a whole lot. And then take you a fork. Some of y'all are special. Some of y'all, well, not special, but y'all kind of fancy is the word. And y'all have whips. I have them too, okay? But you just need a fork. Whip that up. You can add some milk if you want. The only reason I know I'm kind of talking a lot, but the grit's going to take 20 minutes, and we had 13 more minutes, okay? We're going to take a look at them, and we're going to stir them. Now, you notice I don't have to stir them constantly, right? I don't have to stir them constantly, but you do have to go in and stir them, okay? Now, if I hadn't washed them, I would have had to stir them a little more often. So you still have to stir them. You just don't have to do them as often. Okay, and you want to make sure the bottom. I'm gonna get a different spoon. I don't like those silicone things. My hubby be buying them. I don't like them. They feel like they not. You know what I mean? It feel. I don't know what that thing is. So I can't feel what's going on at the bottom. But see, this I could feel. This at the bottom. I could feel that I need to stir the bottom. Okay? Or they will scorch on me. Let me see something. Yeah, I gotta hold that up, y'all. Because that's sticking to the bottom right there. And do not let these grits splash on you, okay? Do not let them grits splash on you. Oh, and I know my little things. These are pans that's in there, y'all. Because these are gas. And I need to change them. But I haven't been cooking. Hubby been, my sons and hubby been cooking. So, they clean everything except them pans, okay? I think we need to purchase some more. They make them now. I used to have to make those things with my own aluminum foil. But now, you could buy them, apparently. And the reason I'm stirring like this, y'all, because I can feel it sticking at the bottom. Okay? So I want to get that from down there. If you find that it's sticking and you can't get it from down there, then change pots. Do not let that burn at the bottom. Okay? That's the reason why I'm doing that, because I was using that silicone thing. I wasn't really scraping the bottom but we good now. Okay? I don't like that, so hubby bought those. He buys them and he's the only one that uses them. You see how that clumped up right there? That shouldn't be there. That's there because of the bottom. Okay? So, there we go. I could take my spoon. I can either get rid of this or I can, let me see. Yeah, because that was at the bottom. Let me get rid of that. This is like a little piece. Okay, that's my fault. Okay. Now we good. Y'all can hear the bottom, right? If I pour like this, you can see the bottom. See that? You don't want nothing sticking. If you let them, they will scorch. Okay? And don't let the hot grit get on you. Because I don't think you want that. Okay? I don't think you want that. So I have it, it's vented. It don't have to be vented too much, but it does need to be vented. Okay? And keep them on that number. And now let's get to these eggs. Okay? The eggs are on, let me see. I'm going to put this, because I turned it low. I want it hot again. So I'm going to put it on 6. I do want to see like a smoke. I do want to see a smoke. Otherwise, your eggs will stick to your pan. Okay? Don't cook eggs on a cold or warm. You want it to be hot. Okay? Anyway, I hear the grits popping. So let's put a top on them. Oh, and put on clothes. Okay? Don't do like I'm doing. Don't cook naked, okay? Now, I'm not truly naked. I use that term because I'm not dressed appropriately. Like, for if people came over, I wouldn't open the door, you know, because I just have on my robe. But when you cooking grits, okay, let me tell you, honey. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you this. I know it's going to be a little funny, but it's going to be so true. If one little pop of grits land on any of your body parts, you going to know it, okay? And you're not going to like it. I assure you, honey, you're not going to like it. It's going to be bad, okay? And you're going to scream. And I'm going to tell you, you'll rather this pop on you, grease pop on you, than them grits. Because them grits is not going to stop burning until they cool off, okay? Yeah, this will pop on, you know, your fried chicken, you get a little pop here, a little pop there. I ain't going to lie, I hate that too, okay? I hate anything burning me. But if them grits land on me, I'm going to run and I'm going to try to go. Listen, Don't play around with your grits. Okay, now I'm about to stir again, but I'm not going to show y'all me stirring because we're about to do these eggs. Okay, but you can hear me stirring, I hope. Be careful when you stir. Do not let these grits hit your body parts. Okay, I can't express that more. Okay, let me turn that up. I'll turn it up a little more. Apparently, I need that to get hot. So how hot do I want it? You could take a little piece of your fork and you could drop it. Woo! Look and see how quick that. So that's good. That's how you know it's not gonna stick to the pot. I need a spatula. Okay. Rinse that off. And see how it moves? You see how that egg is moving? That's how you non-stick, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pour a little bit. And then I'm gonna move it, boom, like that. And let it run. See that? Then I'm gonna move that out the way. And I'm gonna pour some more. This is 2 eggs, by the way. I could have did 1, okay? We're gonna move that out the way, and we're gonna let that run, and let it hit that bottom and fry like that, okay? So it don't stick. And then I'm gonna take it and I'll turn it. And then I can turn this off in a minute. You just want to make sure there's no uncooked, egg in the center. And remember, it was fried already by the time I turned it. So I turned it off. I'm gonna turn it over. I'm gonna turn it over again, and bam, your eggs are done. Okay? That's how quick eggs are. That's why I was taking a while. Let's get back over here though to these grits because I hear them popping. Okay? And I'm worried. I'm scared. What am I scared of? I'm scared to take that top off. No, I'm joking. But you do want to be careful, okay? Because I didn't vent them. That's why they're popping a little more. Okay? Look at them. They're looking good. They're looking good. Okay? Do not try to attempt to taste these. They're hot. And you don't want to play around with it. Now, I'm going to see how many minutes we got left. We have about 5 minutes. 5 minutes to be exact. Now, what you can do, if you want to, you could add your butter. I wouldn't suggest adding your butter until the very end. But some people like theirs really buttery, right? If you like it really buttery, like all throughout, I wouldn't recommend it, okay? But some people like theirs like that. Some people like cheese eggs. I'm sorry, cheesy grits. Right now is when you would add the cheese to the grits. Okay, I can't fathom or understand why anybody would add cheese to their grits. But we had a conversation and people was talking about adding cheese and then some hot sauce. And I was like, I can't imagine, but I'm sure they're good because grits are good. Okay, this is one of those things that are cheap and will fill your family up. Now see, right now, this is cool enough for me to taste. Take a little bit on my finger. And I can taste that it needs maybe a little more salt. But my butter has salt in it, and that may handle that. See how creamy? That's not a lump in them grits. Y'all see that? Not a lump. And I'm going to tell you, the reason there's no lumps in the grits is not because of my constant stirring. It's because I washed them. Okay? Look at them. That's how your grits should be. That's called creamy grits. So we're going to let it go. Don't touch this thing right after you take it out of there, okay? Let that sit to the side for like a minute or two before you try to taste it on that spoon, or you're going to regret it. Okay, so this is on low. I'm gonna put them all the way low. Actually, I could turn them off at this point. Okay. You learned about Tabasco and grits at Fort Benning. Was it good? We used to toss them in a skillet and make pancakes out of them. What you mean out of the eggs, or you talking about the grits? Because I have had people eat like they made their grits into like a pancake, because what happens when the grits cool off, they solidify. I'm not sure, almost like this bacon grease, right? You see how the bacon grease, it turns solid, kind of solid, but not solid. You know what I mean? Like it's not liquidy anymore. It turns into like a solid form. Well, grits does that, right? When the grits cool off, it's gonna be like more solid. But you can warm them up. You add a little water to them, and warm them up, and they'll become creamy again. But lumpy grits, you cannot fix lumpy grits, baby. If you cook them grits and they got nothing but lumps all in there, there ain't nothing you gonna do. They're gonna stay lumpy. You gonna look. I learned because of my experience. Like I said, when I was a younger, thinking I know what I'm doing, because, like I said, I watch. And when I mean I watch it, like I would see in the kitchen, I see what my mom would do. She would add water to the grits, salt and pepper to the grits, some butter to the grits. You know, she would let them boil, and then she would put a top on them. Usually a plate, wasn't even a top like this, right? And then she would go every once in a while and she would stir them. And they would be the best grits ever. I watched my grandmother do that, my aunts, everybody who I watched cook. But I never was right there on side of them watching them actually do every step, like all the way. So here I am, an adult now, and I want some grits. And so I put some water in the grits. I followed the quick grits. It was called grits, just like this. But it said Quaker Oats grits or something like that. I don't know. And it said 5 minutes. And I had never seen my mom cook no grits in 5 minutes, but I was like, okay, maybe maybe I could cook them in 5 minutes. Oh man, it was so lumpy, and I kept adding water. What happened? I didn't do the measurements like I said earlier. Let me taste it. They taste good. They do need a little salt. I'm very cautious when I season my food, because my first time ever cooking something on my own came out salty. And it was rice, by the way. Okay? It was rice. And that's the timer. The grits are done. They are done. I'm going to show y'all in a minute that they're not gritty. They're creamy. But I got to wait till it cool off on the spoon so I can show you how creamy they are, okay? Let me find something what I'm going to put them in. I'm going to add my butter now. Or you can add the butter directly to your plate, right? I recommend that. Adding it directly to your plate. And the reason being because different people like theirs at different levels of buttery. You know? Some people like them really buttery to where the grits turn yellow. Okay? My grits going to still be white when I add the butter. And see how quickly that melts? Let me make sure they're off, because I definitely don't want to burn myself. Okay. That melted so quickly. Somebody mentioned yellow grits. I think he said you could buy yellow grits. I've never seen yellow grits, but I'm not doubting it. Corn is yellow, so maybe it was without being processed. I don't know. Okay, remember when I said you should be able to pour these? These grits are done. You should be able to pour them in your plate. You see that? They should not be lumpy and clumpy. I'm going to leave them there for a minute. Let them cool off for a minute. And I'm going to put some things away real quick. Okay, don't want to leave a mess in my kitchen. I don't know. I never understood hubby buy no silicone things until, so are the silicone things good? I guess, right? If you buy, let me show y'all. If you buy those non-stick pans and pots, you should have silicone. Because if you don't, I'm gonna show y'all what y'all gonna end up with. Man, let me show y'all. I have something right here. Give you a prime example. This wok that I have here. This is a wok, right? When I make stir fries. And I always wondered, like, you know how many of these things I done bought? I done bought many of them because I hate when I have a pan that I just purchased and then it ends up like this after just a couple of uses. Until hubby explained to me why that was happening. Because I use these type of spoons and things. And he was like, this non-stick surface comes off because I'm using iron or steel, whatever that is, on, you know, because I usually cook with cast iron or real pots and pans. But at one time I used to buy them cheap pans. And this is because of it's because of these type of things that I have. Okay, made of this. And I should be using a silicone so when you end up with this, and this is why all of us are poisoned in the U.S. Not just the U.S., the whole entire world. DuPont poisoned us, okay? They poison us because of this coating that comes off that ends up in your food. No matter how you think about it, it ends up poisoning us. So they say that DuPont has poisoned the whole world slowly through this Teflon. I think they called it Teflon. That came out in like the 80s. Maybe 70s or 80s. Okay? But I'm talking too much now. I'm getting a little too technical. Let's get back to these grits. And I'm going to show you what my egg look like also. So, nah, let's not do it right here. Let's take y'all over here. Okay? I'm about to move some things. Now, I'm going to tell you, remember I used that, I didn't use butter to fry my egg because butter does give it a flavor, but that bacon grease, that gives it a whole nother flavor. It's a whole nother complexity to the flavors. Do I need a spoon to dish out my grits? I do not. You should not. See that? You should not need a spoon except to, you know, stop it like this. You should be able to pour them like that. That's Southern grits right there, baby. That's some Southern grits. And when it comes to my egg, you should be able to just flap that out the pan too. Okay? Put that to the side like that. Let's take a look at that really quickly. Did I have a fork earlier? Yeah, I did. When I mixed them up, right? I think I put it in the dishwasher already. Okay, let me grab another one. And your egg should be however you want it. Some people like it cooked hard. Mine is not cooked so hard as I used to like them. I kind of like them a little creamy inside, but I didn't make them creamy inside. Right? It's fully cooked. If you want a little cream, it does have a different taste. I accidentally undercooked the egg once, and it was really good. Okay, and now if you're Southern like I am, you're going to throw that egg in them grits, baby. Okay? You're going to throw them in there. You're going to let them cut in that grits. That's why you don't need no cheese, okay? But me, I don't know. I can't do cheese because I can't imagine adding cheese to my grits. I can't. Now, I could do cheesy eggs. Make an omelet. Okay? Now, it's still hot. But, that's so good. Okay? I could taste a little bit of the garlic. I don't even need any, the butter. Well, maybe because I'm eating with the egg, it tastes fine. Let me see what it tastes like without the egg. If I need salt or not. See how creamy they are? They're not gritty. They're called grits. I know my husband said he didn't like grits because they're gritty. And I said that's because whoever cooked them didn't know what they were cooking. It might have been me, because he claimed it was me. That's what he claimed it was me. And when he said it, I was like, nah, I don't cook no gritty grits. But I had to go back to when we was younger. I may have made some gritty grits, okay? Not may have. I was making some gritty grits. See how it just smashes up? They're not gritty at all. Okay? I love them. Okay, try you some grits. I hope y'all have fun. You could come and get some, Lena. You already know what it is. Everybody could come get some. Now, I only made enough for 2 people, which is actually for me, right? I already told y'all who these grits for. I can literally put these grits on this plate right now. I'm going to eat them all. Okay? This is probably enough. This is probably the one. Wait, if I put that much, because that look about half, this and this. So this, if you cook for one person and you go by the instructions, that's about how much you'll get. And if you double it up like I did, then you're going to get double. And I will eat all these grits. Now, let me tell you, the reason I wasn't planning on making eggs. So usually I do just grits with some butter. And I may have one sausage on the side. And I can eat all those grits. Now, do I eat them all in one setting? Yes. Now, it take me a while. I'm not going to lie. Okay? I put them all on the plate. I may have a little bit in the pot left over. I put them on the plate. And it may take me an hour to eat them. Because, you know, I eat real slow. I eat like a bird. But I eat, you know, I can eat when I'm hungry. And I'm really hungry right now. Okay? But it's just grits, right? But it is filling. Okay? And especially on a cold, like, it's almost like how you eat soup during the winter. Eating grits in the winter is so satisfying. It warms you up if you're cold. It fills you up if you're hungry. And yes, if you want to add things to it, cheese and all that, you can. But if you don't have cheese and all of those things, it's still good without it. And that's all I have to say about that. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hi, bang, bang, boogie. Bang, bang, boogie to the boogie to the boogie, the butt, the boogie, the beat. And what I say is not a test, it's the to the beat. Now, I don't know all the words. I forgot them, okay? I forgot them. But bang, bang to the boogie. What's going on, baby? How you been? You been good? Anyway, I hope you and the rest of everybody else have a great day, okay? You done put that old school hip-hop in my head right now. Bang, bang, boogie. Up the boogie to the bang bang boogie, up the boogie to the bang up boogie to beat. See, what I ate is not a test, it's the hook the beat. Now me, my crew, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. See, I am wonder something, and I like to say hello to the black, to the brown, the purple, and the blue, and the yellow. Y'all have a good day, y'all. I'll be back later, y'all. I got to go out to the garden. I have a couple of tomatoes that I saw yesterday that was ripened. Peppers. But everything else is going to take a while. Okay? Bye, Lena. Bye, everybody.